Welcome to the Ops MVS Event Management and Automation 14.0 new feature video series. This video will cover the BCPII version 2 REST API integration feature. The agenda for this video will cover an overview of Ops MVS support of BCPII and the business need and solution for the new Ops MVS feature for supporting the IBM BCPII version 2 HWIREST API. What are the prerequisites needed to take advantage of IBM's BCPII version 2 REST API? What changes were made to the Ops BCPII procedure? What changes were made to address HWS host commands? And what other resources are available to you to learn more about these enhancements? This section gives an overview of the Ops MVS hardware services. The Ops MVS hardware services component provides the ability to automate ZOS hardware management console functions through the following two features: hardware event notification and automation, and OpsRex address HWS host environment. The hardware event notification feature captures hardware events and packages them as Ops MVS generic API events. This packaging lets you develop rule-based automation for the hardware events using AOF API rules. Rule-based automation can be designed for hardware events such as hardware message events, security events, and operating system message events. The OpsRex address HWS host environment interfaces with the BCPII to retrieve system attribute values, update attribute values, and execute hardware commands. The direct interface with BCPII is through the Ops BCPII server. The HWS Ops BCPII server interfaces with the BCPII using a legacy set of BCPII APIs known as BCPII version 1. As for the business need, IBM introduced a new REST API named HWIREST for the BCPII interface. HWIREST allows applications to access new system attributes instantaneously whenever new hardware levels become activated. HWIREST shares the existing IBM Web Services REST API interface to the hardware management console. IBM has no plans to provide future updates to BCPII version 1. The solution provides a new feature PTF for Ops MVS 14.0 and will support the use of new BCPII version 2 HWIREST API. Ops MVS will allow the use of both BCPII version 1 and version 2 APIs concurrently. There are a number of prerequisite PTFs to ZOS, the HMC, Service Elements, CCS, and Ops MVS, which we will cover in the next slide. The following requirements must be met in order for the Ops BCPII server to support BCPII version 2. The minimum hardware level required is an IBM Z15 processor. The operating software update required is ZOS 2.4 or higher. For 2.4, APAR OA60351 is required to be applied. For version 2.5 and higher, just the ZOS base code. The firmware update required for the service element 2.15 is microcode level P46598.370, bundle S38. For the HMC version 2.15, microcode level P46686.001, bundle H25. For coexistence requirements, The firmware update must be done on a local Z15 CPC where the BCPII HWIREST service is used. The HMC associated with the local Z15 and any other Z15 CPC that is targeted by a BCPII HWIREST request. For Ops MVS 14.0, PTF LU0 3137 must be applied. For Common Services, otherwise known as CCS 15.0, PTF LU0 1961 must be applied. This section discusses updates to the Ops BCPII server proc to activate the BCPII V2 HWIREST API. The Ops MVS Ops BCPII procedure supports both IBM BCPII version 1 and version 2 APIs concurrently. To change the procedure to include support for BCPII version 2, you must 1. Add the exec parm = REST API keyword, which is highlighted in red above. And 2. You must add the BCP ATCM2 DD statement. The member name OPII NP2 is required and distributed in the CCLX controlled dataset. At startup, the V2 REST interface is initialized in parallel with the V1 interface, which is still available to support Z14 hardware and existing REX programs and rules. This section covers a new keyword on the address HWS host command to utilize the new BCPII version 2 HWIREST API function. Existing Ops REX that uses the address HWS host environment will continue to work without modification. To route getAttr, setAttr, and sendCommand to the BCPII version 2 REST API, specify the API version 2 keyword on your address HWS commands as highlighted in red above. The REST API hardware commands and system property names are documented in Chapter 11 Core IBM Z Resources of the IBM Manual Hardware Management Console Web Services API, version 2.15. The property values may be one of the following types: Boolean, numeric, character string, JSON array in string format, or JSON object in string format. The REX variable HWS response contains response from the getAttr command. The following is a summary of the Ops MVS integration with the BCPII version 2 HWIREST API. IBM has indicated that no new updates will be made to BCPII version 1, but it is still supported. BCPII version 2 HWIREST API requires Z15 hardware, firmware, and software updates. Ops BCPII server has been enhanced to concurrently support both BCPII versions 1 and 2. The updates to the Ops BCPII proc and a new address HWS API version keyword are required to add version 2 support. And comprehensive system attribute and hardware command documentation needed to utilize the version 2 interface can be found in the following IBM manual. For more detailed information about Ops MVS and its new feature, go to the following URL for the product page. From here you can access product documentation, support, communities, and learning paths. Further information about BCPII programming and attributes can be found in the following IBM documentation.